Can you just give us your thoughts on last weekend after being able to digest it for a few days?
Um, I think it was a good weekend. I didn't love Friday night. I didn't think our team was engaged in the battle against a team in Duluth that makes you engage because they're going to be. And I just didn't think we put up much of a fight. And then the way our team responded on Saturday from a poor effort and then senior night on top of that, I was really happy with that. Outside of the first 6 or 7 minutes of the third period, which what I thought it looked like was a team who doesn't lose much, really trying to push hard against a team that doesn't win much and doesn't know how to close out games. I thought that first 5 or 6 minutes, we were panicking a little bit and looked that way, turning pucks over and so on. But when we watched the video, they had the puck way more than we did. There's no doubt about that on Saturday. But the chances were fairly even. They were in their favor, but fairly even. We won the special teams, which is great. I think we competed for the most part all night long. So you feel good about the weekend in general. I mean, they're a top 10 team. They're a veteran team. Again, we didn't put up much of a fight on Friday, so we had to respond to that, and I thought we did that. So all in all, a good weekend.
The importance of getting off to a good start Saturday, coming off what you said Friday, and the breakaway goal early for Brian Silver, his first career goal. What did you see from him as far as kind of taking advantage of his opportunity?
Well, yeah, Brian's a really popular kid on the team, so he's somebody that guys want to see do well, and for him to finish the way he did, I mean, he definitely looked like someone that had finished before. I mean, it was a pretty darn good shot there, but it got us going. It got the crowd into it. I think it showed that we were here to fight and dig in and be better, and we did that. So, congrats to him. I'm a believer in the opportunity, and what young people do with the opportunity is on them. And Brian took advantage of an opportunity, and we think he's been coming and doing better.
Can you touch on the goaltending last week? And it felt like it was definitely a special series, at least for Ludwig.
Yeah, the goaltending was outstanding. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. Something a lot of people don't know is his dad was in town, and his dad hadn't been in town in 2 years, hadn't seen Oxford yet, with COVID and so on. And Ludes is a very family-oriented young guy. He's on the phone with his family all the time. So I think there was some comfort there. And that could go one of two ways, right? That could go, oh, man, my dad's here and all kinds of pressure, or it's really comforting to know my dad's here. And I think it was the latter. But it was the type of goaltending that we've gotten used to with him, and that's why when it's not quite there, it's because he set the bar for himself, and this weekend was no different.
And then can you touch on some keys to success this upcoming weekend against Western?
Well, I can tell you right now, first and foremost, we were going to have to be ready to compete. Lawson is a very difficult place to play. Their student section is probably one of the best, if not the best in the league and around. It's going to be their senior night, which they're celebrating a bunch of really good players who have had some success during their time there. But I think where it starts, that they can run you out of the rink real quick if you're not ready. So we have to be ready to start on time on Friday at 7 o'clock and engage in the battle mentally and physically. And we have to stay out of the penalty box. It hasn't been easy for us. I don't know why, but it hasn't been easy for us to stay out of the penalty box. But their power play is as good as there is in the country. Ronnie Adder, Ethan Frank are two of the top players in this league, but two of the top players in this country. And the power play is an area where they're really dangerous. And that's not to exclude or no disrespect to some of the other players they have. They've got really good players on their team, but those two in particular will hurt you on the power play if you don't stay out of the penalty box. I mean, there's going to be situations where we're going to get penalties. I understand that, but they can't be undisciplined. They have to be from playing hard. So I think engaged mentally and physically in the battle starting at 7 o'clock on Friday and staying in the penalty box are two areas that we're going to have to be ready. We're going to have to be good at.
And then how do you guys plan on getting some traffic in front of Bossy? Obviously, he's a goalie who's been very strong over his time at West.
Yeah, I just think it's a decision myself. They'll fight you for that ice, but there's opportunity to get there. He's a big guy who is going to want to come out and challenge, and we're going to have to keep him in there. For us, it's going to have to start with zone time, with offensive zone play. I mean, we haven't been great at that. And when we do have offensive zone time, we need to make sure we're sticking to a plan where if it's low to high, if it's east west, whatever it is, and then commit to getting pucks to the net. I think that's where we have to start. And then people's the second place. We need to get people in front of them. And I just think it's a decision. Guys are going to have to decide that this is what we're going to do. He wants to, any goalie wants to have free reign, of the net front and come out and do what he wants to do. And we're going to have to decide that we're not going to let him do that.
Andrew, just your thoughts on senior night. Obviously, a great performance from the team, a big win, and kind of what it was like being recognized and just that whole experience for you.
It's definitely a big night for the seniors, a big night for everyone. Everyone's playing with a little extra jam. It's a Saturday night at home, and then especially senior night in front of our friends and family. So I think everyone really wanted that win extra bad, and then to come out with a 4-0 victory definitely felt really good.
Coach mentioned after the game that you were awarded the game puck. What did that mean to you in locker?
A lot, obviously. A lot of the stuff I do, I think, is pretty behind the scenes, killing penalties and just being a shutdown defenseman. So to get recognized like that in front of your teammates obviously feels good. And then on senior night, it was just kind of a icing on the cake, I'd say. So it was a really good feeling. It was an awesome weekend for everyone.
Can you touch on the success of the penalty kill this past weekend, giving up just one goal to a team like that?
Their power play is super strong. Obviously, Ludwig's a big help. He's part of the penalty kill as well, so he made some spectacular saves, especially on Friday and Saturday. Just being more aggressive, I think, is something we've been getting back to in terms of our penalty kill, so carrying that over into the Western weekend, hopefully we can keep our streak going.
And then can you touch on Ludwig's play last weekend? Obviously, there was a lot of times where he seemed to steal momentum for you guys numerous times.
And he's been doing that all year. I think it was just on display, and he finally got rewarded with some good bounces. So all the pucks stayed out of the net Saturday. So definitely well-deserved for that shutout there.
And then can you touch on some keys to success this upcoming weekend against Western? Obviously, a few close games with them earlier in the season.
I think they're one of the faster teams we play. Obviously, their forward group is very deep. So keeping them in front of us, playing solid defensively, and then again, scoring 4 goals always helps, regardless of how we play defensively. So hopefully we can find the back of the net some more.